Happy Saturday, everyone. Wanted to give a quick video on what I'm expecting next week. We finally put in our first big red day. From an annual perspective, we're still pretty green, looking pretty good, same as the quarter. We still have about 6 weeks left on it, and it's looking pretty strong. From a monthly perspective, we hit all-time highs this week and kind of came a little bit back down on Friday. Curious to see how we kind of move the rest of the week or the rest of the month. From a weekly perspective, this is the first time we kind of put a kind of weaker candle, with this wick over here. But doesn't mean we'll come back down. Who knows? Maybe we could continue to have some downward momentum next week. For me, any downside is pretty healthy after having such a huge move. And then on the daily, I finally put in a nice chunky red day. And basically what I would like is I would like for us to continue to sweep, come lower. And if we invalidate this fib, I would even love for us to come and sweep this lows over here and then push back up. If that happens, that would be great. If not, then there's still a lot more liquidity left. Like we have this weekly fair value gap over here. Would love for us to push back into it, but we shall see. And yeah, if on the daily, definitely have some areas where I would look for support. 7302, 7186. If it ever comes up, 7095 would be a huge one, just because that's where the top of our range was, and we could kind of do an SR flip over here if that were to happen. Like, that would be awesome. And then, from a 12-hour, looks like we might get some continuation. Let's see how it opens on Sunday. And the same with, we have a 1-3 on the 4-hour. So let's see if it continues. We could also consolidate. And if we do, just you can always draw a box on that consolidation area. Kind of like here, we consolidated a lot, for a couple of sessions. And the way you could tell which way we may break is, for example, here we pushed outside, and once we came back in, we kind of stayed in the middle of the box and then pushed back up. So if we would have kept pushing down, maybe that was telling me, hey, this might have been a manipulation and we're gonna break back down. But because we kept kind of pushing back up, that kind of can let you know, like, hey, once you keep finding that support, you can kind of look to long. And then from there, another way that I was able to tell that we were gonna kind of finally have a red day was because I look at the put call ratio, and as you can see here, this is the first time that we went below the 0.5. And usually when that happens, that kind of means that the bulls are getting exhausted and kind of look for some type of reversal. Doesn't always mean it's 100% guaranteed, but it's something to look on, especially if the SMA starts trending down. And anytime it gets down to that area, it look for some type of reversals. And that's something you could see here when we were having those lows, when we were coming down. Once we were having all these taps above the 1, and then the SMA was close to the 1, that was your signal that, hey, we're about to, push back up. And as you can see, it started to trend down. And of course now, we keep going up. And from that perspective, if you look at the daily candle, we basically almost tapped into the 9 EMA, and anything or ADMA, sorry, anything like really, you don't have to really think, oh, the market's gonna crash. We're still riding basically the EMAs here. So keep an eye if we tap the 13, the 21. That would be a nice reversion actually, and I would like to see, do we push back up or do we continue lower? And also we closed the Golden Gate on the monthly on the swing range here, so it doesn't surprise me that we came back down. Would be nice if we come back down to the call trigger over here or even lower to fill this gap. Right now if you look at SPY basically looked like it pulled a Kanye and got to deal with gap, because there's nothing but gaps here that are probably giving us an opportunity to be filled. So keep those in mind as we come down. As you can see here, the previous little drawdown we had, it literally reversed off the gap here. So definitely keep an eye on all of that. The weekly, we're still pretty, we might push down, like I said, and maybe push down and tap the ribbon, and it would still be healthy. Nothing crazy, nothing to be, I guess, scared of. If anything, it's a good buying opportunity. But yeah, basically from that perspective, we're looking good. We're moving along. For catalysts, we do have FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday. It's kind of like the only red folder event. Don't expect it to be too crazy since it's just meeting minutes, but we'll see what happens. One of the big events too on Wednesday is after close we have Nvidia earnings, and I think the market's kind of waiting on that to see how that plays out. We also have a few other names like Home Depot, Target, Walmart, John Deere, Neo, Weebles, Zoom, like a lot of good names out there. So let's see how that turns out. And of course, we also have a new Fed wash starting on Monday, I believe. And you hear a lot that new Fed implies that we might come down, and we'll see. It could be true, it could not. And like I said, any drawdown right now is basically a good healthy pullback since we've gone up crazy. But that's all I have for today, and I hope everyone has a great week.